Hi, welcome to the Catholic Corner. I'm Monsignor Walter Nolan. You know, the great Catholic author Thomas Merton wrote one time, peace demands the most heroic labor and the most difficult sacrifice. It demands greater heroism than war. It demands greater fidelity to the truth and a much more perfect purity of conscience. Powerful words from a very prayerful man of God. He inspires us with his words to work for peace. And to work for peace, you must have justice. And to have justice, you must work for peace. Without the two of them, it doesn't work. My guests today are three beautiful men. They work for peace in a city of Trenton, where they live and their families and have their blessings. The organization they represent, called Fathers and Men, United for a Better Trenton. It was formed because men in the community noticed an escalation of violence in that city, especially among some of the young men. They decided that they wanted to change this, and the first step, to start this organization. One of the three founding members of the group is Raymond Young. He's a retired Trenton City detective. Good stuff. He's a husband, father of 5 children. He's also a deacon in his church, the Galilee Baptist Church in Trenton.
Good afternoon.
Bless you.
Bless you.
God love you. Mike Collins and Ralph Greer are also members of the Fathers and Men United for a Better Trenton. Mike, as a husband and father, 2 grown sons. He's very active in his own parish community, St. Joseph's Church, one of our Catholic churches in Trenton.
Yes.
He's currently studying to be a permanent deacon in the Catholic Church. He's also very active teaching religious education in his parish. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Good to be here.
Ralph Greer,
A pleasure.
husband,
Yes.
father, 3 grown boys.
Yes.
You guys got a team going there.
Yeah.
He also was a deacon in his church, New Bethel Kingdom Faith Ministries in Ewing, New Jersey. Notice how they take their manhood, their fatherhood, and their religious beliefs
That's right.
and meld it all into one. He's also the assistant superintendent of the Sunday school program, as well as a teacher there. Ralph, bless you.
I bless you, sir.
Welcome. God, this is marvelous. You know, I just love when men are men, you know, and really live out the, I think that what God wanted them to do and be. So tell me, Fathers and Men United for Better Trenton,
Yes.
how did it come about? Why? I'm sure you just weren't walking down the street and said, hey guys, got a great idea, or maybe you did.
Well, no, it started because of the escalating problems that we're having in the city, the shootings, the stabbings, things of that nature. And we've seen there was a need for men to get together because in Trenton they had a group called Mothers Against Violence,
Right.
which was an awesome thing. But the Bible talks about the man being at the head of the house. So we realized that a lot of young men didn't have fathers at home. So in order for God's words to actually be fulfilled, we as men had to go out and be that head of the household, whether it's in the street or at home. We had to actually be the men. So we formed, we 3 of us noticed that we needed an organization that's going to do just what God wanted us to do, go out and teach and preach his word.
Now, were you fellas friends before this started, or did you just become friends afterwards?
Friends, we're associates, so to speak.
Okay.
We travel basically the same circles in terms of being spiritual men. So when we made the call, I tell you, initially it was Wayne Council and Henry Condit.
Yeah.
The 3 of us, we got together, we met at a Dunkin' Donuts, and we cried and prayed and cried and prayed, and God answered our prayers. So our initial meeting was down at Maxine's. It's now closed, but we had a breakfast down at Maxine, inviting all men, no race, no color, just men who wanted to be part of this organization. And that day we may have had 150, 200 men come to eat breakfast. And
That was the first time you gathered them together? You had 150 fellas coming.
Yep.
Powerful.
First time.
Powerful.
So we told them what we wanted to do, which was go out into the streets, because the Bible talks about nothing, the land won't be healed until God hears our prayer. And he comes and actually bless the land. So we did this. So our mission initially was going out to the street corners where something had happened, whether it's a shooting or stabbing, and we pray on that corner, ask God to come and heal that corner. That was the initial part of Fathers and Men.
Wow. You know what's going through my mind? Guess the opening of one of Paul's letters, you know, when he said, Paul, a slave of Jesus Christ,
Yes.
called to be an apostle,
Apostle, yes.
to preach the good news or to share the good news of our Lord.
Yes, sir.
That's what's happening with you fellas.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Now that first initial time you went to pray on the corner, how many men did you have?
That was at the corner of Hermitage and Bootnot.
Bootnot, yes.
And we had, I guesstimate to be 200 men.
Yes, that's about right.
Because we had inner circles. We had a circle, another circle behind it.
Wow. You know the other vision I'm getting now? I'm sure you guys see this. You go down the street sometimes, and where there was an accident, somebody died, they put some flowers there, or you know, whatever they are, teddy bears or whatever. Okay. So you're the living flowers, you're the living teddy bears. I wouldn't call you guys teddy bears,
Yes.
but you know,
Right.
but that's it. That's you know, so people know that on that corner something happened, and now all of a sudden there's healing and maybe forgiveness or whatever.
And
What a sign.
I tell you, in a community such as Trenton, to see men come together is a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. What was the particular event you said? Was that the one you just mentioned, that influenced creating this organization? Was there something that all of a sudden you just said, no, this can't go on?
Well, it was a shooting. A young boy, it was a funeral. And the Mothers Against Violence, they marched down to the Battle of Monument. And I was there, and I seen it. And like I said, it was powerful to see women. But now, our rightful place as men is to lead that march, not the women. You know, so.
Or at least do it together.
Yeah, do it
At
together.
least do it
but-
together.
Right.
And I cried. I recall myself crying at that particular march.
Sure.
You know, and I knew then that we had to do something as men.
See, I always realized that, you know, we have certain gifts as males and females have certain gifts,
Yes,
and,
sir.
and the gifts come together. But, you know, there's a lot of times when young men have to look up to a father image, whether
That's
it's
right.
their own
That's right. That's
father, if
correct.
they have one,
That's right.
hopefully,
That's
or
correct.
at least another image that has some strength and power, you know. You're going to say something. I think you're ready to, Mike, you're ready to.
Well, I'm waiting my turn. Mr. Young is one of the founders. I came on probably a couple of months later. I read in the Trentonian, there was a picture of some of the gentlemen, and they had planned an event where they were going to go to the 7 or 8 corners in the city all on one day and pray on each of these corners. And I'm not sure how long it was after that initial event, but one of the corners they were going to be on was on Monmouth and Walnut, which is the corner closest to where I live. I knew a couple of the guys that in the picture, I knew of them. One of them I had a cell phone number, so I called him. I says, what time are you going to be on Monmouth and Walnut? I'd like to join you. And so he let me know. He gave me a call when they were leaving the previous site and on the way over there, so I went and I joined on that corner. And a couple of weeks later, I ran into them again, and somehow I became aware that they were trying to form an organization that would, you know, in other words, it wasn't just a one-day shot. It was going to be something that men were going to get together on a regular basis to do whatever. But I understood that the impetus was the escalation of the violence in the city. And having 2 sons myself, you know, knowing a lot of people in the community, I asked if I could be a member. And said, sure, come on by. This particular night, in this particular place is our meetings. You're welcome to join us anytime. And so I did.
Ralph, how about yourself? How did you get involved?
Well, I got involved basically because I was there from the beginning, from the first meeting that they had at the restaurant. But they sent a call out to all the churches in the community and for all the pastors. At that time, my pastor was sick, but I was a deacon there. He said, "Look, you're younger than some of the other deacons. Most of them are in the 70s and 80s." He said, "I want you to go and sit in and just see what's going on and report back to me. Report back what's going on." But in my heart the whole time, I wasn't sure what it was, but I knew that there was a problem in the city that needed to be addressed. And it would take a man to do it. The men had to stand up in the community. So I did go to the breakfast, and they explained their program, and I've been there ever since. Because we always, at our church, we always got to go out and mentor young men. Men need to be mentored by men. And we work on the theory, in order to draw people, you have to love them. In order to lead them, you have to serve them. So we have to go out and to serve, to basically draw people in. Love them first and then serve them. And that's what we do as fathers and men. If there's a problem, we want to go talk to them and try to address the issue. If we have, in any way we can, we try to help them or to avoid situations. Because in our community, there's a lot of things going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're a detective, a former detective.
Yes.
Has other police joined you, or you're trying to keep that separate, or how does that work?
Well, we don't look at any background of anyone.
Right.
We look at a man.
Okay.
Because in essence, to become a man, you got to be taught by a man, as Ralph said. So we look for men, and men who's going to stand up for righteousness.
That's
right? And we try to look for God-fearing men.
Right.
That's another thing. We don't want no atheists. I mean, we look for God-fearing men, and we basically don't try to pick his religion either. We look for men who are God-fearing men, and whichever God you serve is all right with us, as long as you serve God.
Yeah. It's only one God.
There's
That's
only
right.
one God.
Only one God.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Again, I have playing around with some thoughts in my mind the last month or so, and I really believe strongly that what we believe is the foundation for how we act.
Oh, yes.
Amen.
And I'm hearing that coming from you fellas, that your belief is there, and then we act out of that belief.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
correct.
and not because otherwise, and maybe some of the fellas that, or whoever it is, that are doing some of the bad stuff, don't have the belief. So they're acting out of something else, some other belief that they might have, or at least think they think they have.
Right.
So that's just terrific. Tell me about this organization now. I mean, is it really an organization? You have
Yes.
a president and a vice president, or what are some of your goals? You have a mission statement and all the things that they're doing today?
We do have a mission
Oh,
statement.
great.
We should have brought that with
That's
us.
all right. That's all right.
Mike should have.
I'm proud of you. You got a mission statement.
Not my fault.
Yeah, we do have a mission statement, and our main goals are to try to bring someone first, try to help them, as Ralph goes on to talk about, but draw them closer to Christ.
That's right.
That's our main
the main
objective, and we let you know from the beginning that Christ is the head of our organization. And then we try to help them, whether it's school, help them find a job, and things of that nature, to grow closer to God. And then that person, that man, will be a better father, a better husband, and a better leader in terms of he will go out and want to mentor to younger men.
Now, I don't know how it is with you fellas, but when I was a kid, I know you're all men.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we had some powerful church organizations. One was the Holy Name Society.
Right.
But I also realized as a kid, listening to my mom, talking to Dad, I mean, some of the moms are the ones who say, hey, get involved in that, or, that's good for you and you and your sons, So I don't know if sometimes you get some men who become part of this because they realize this is family.
We do have some women who have pushed their husbands out there.
Right.
And
Sure.
say, you
Not
need
a
to be
bad
part of
thing,
that
sure.
organization.
Not a bad thing.
Because that is what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a good thing.
Yes.
Now, what's the age of your men about yourselves? Or any young ones or young fathers?
We have some young. I guess we're the middle aged, but we have some as young as 24, 25.
Terrific.
And we have some up as old. I guess Lim is about 70 years old. Our senior member, he's about 70.
Careful what you're saying about these.
I know he's a senior. No, that's not old at all.
Well, he's more than that because Nate is 56.
Yeah, well,
His son is 56, so
Yeah.
we have a father and
he's
son.
76.
Yeah, that's marvelous. Huh? Now, when you how often do you meet? Is there a formal meeting time?
Yes. When we meet, Mike.
Monday, the second Monday of the month, in Samaritan Baptist Church on Martin Luther King Boulevard and New Rose Street.
Right.
So, and that's, you always meet at that place.
Yes,
you
that's
don't
our monthly
rotate your
meeting.
churches or
That's our
anything like
monthly
that. Good.
It's a monthly meeting.
Good.
Yeah. Personally, I can't make the meetings because I'm in class that night. But
So it's a nighttime meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
seven,
6 o'clock.
seven,
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
7
Yeah.
p.m.
In the summer months, we try to meet at the park at 6 o'clock
Yeah.
because it's outside, a little cooler outside
Sure.
than inside
Sure.
the building. So, I mean, it's something that's needed, and it's a well-respected organization, if I should say the least, because the mothers are out there, they see us,
That's right.
and they actually say, you need to come talk to my son, or you need to come talk to my son. He needs a male role model.
So do you have time where you might counsel young fellas? I mean, do they
Make time.
We make time, yes.
just call one of you up and say, can I come talk to you or whatever it is?
There are, some of the men are out there on a regular basis doing that. Father, it's important to understand we're kind of loosely put together because a lot of us have already been involved in the community one way or another.
Well,
Like,
I
for
don't want to
instance-
interrupt you. Keep your thought.
Yeah.
But when you say, well, loosely put together, actually, when you look at the part of the Greek understanding of the early writings, they actually said that the group that was together, he actually used a Greek word that says they were loosely put together.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And they did okay. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, like I've been a catechist for almost 12 years now. I'm very involved in the church and in the youth of the church.
Uh-huh.
And most of our members have already been involved in something else. But they saw this as a particular issue. I mean, through each of our experiences, we saw this as a particular issue, this increasing violence, and decided as a group we needed,
Address it.
and different men came together within the organization, and they still do whatever they've been doing to the best of their ability, and then we get together as a group and try to address this, bringing each of our experiences, and then we all go back and we still do what we do, and we're available to the community who we've always been available to. So just the fact that we get together makes us a lot
Now,
stronger.
do you have some activities at all? What are some of the activities that you might have for either yourselves as men or for the young men or the young boys?
Mondays and Wednesdays, we open up the West Ward Center for basketball. So that's from like 8 to 11. So we bring in 40, 50 guys from off the street to play basketball. We can eliminate one of them being the victim. So that's it, or the perpetrators. So we do that, and that is for men. You have to be 18 years or older, and we don't have no women coming in because we want to concentrate on them. Now, guess what we do? The first thing we do before they play basketball.
I know exactly what you're going to tell me.
What we do?
Pray.
We
That's
pray.
right.
And in order for you to play basketball, you're gonna pray.
Right? Yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, hit the doors.
Yeah.
But we are trying to put that on them, that a man's supposed to pray daily. Matter of fact, every day, all day, if you can. And, you keep on leaning on these young men now, and they'll get the message.
Yeah.
Now, here they are now, when they come in the gym, we don't even have to tell them to pray. They form their own circle. So,
And then all of a sudden, even the basketball game can be kind of prayer.
prayer, yeah.
Because everything we do is touched by God's grace,
Of
God's
course.
love. So that's terrific. So we play basketball once, twice a month, or a
No,
week.
That's every week.
Every week?
Every week.
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
Oh, well.
And that is a big thing for young men such as those that we're talking about serving. you know, because the corners aren't safe anymore, you know. So that's a place where they come and be young men, play basketball, see their friends, and have.
And it also tires them out a little bit. It also gets you know, it's all important stuff. You know, I mean, we all
Get the exercise
listen.
that they
We've all ran many miles when we were youngsters. You know, how about some other activities, or is that the beginning
Well,
of
the
something?
mentoring part is the thing that we do one-on-one.
Okay.
So, you know, we see John Jones, and we know his mother had called us and said he needs someone to talk to him. One of us will go out and actually talk to him, whether they're taking him out on a Saturday to a football game. And it's all these things we're talking about don't cost you nothing.
Sure.
You know, just giving him some quality time.
Sure.
Listening to them.
Tell me now, how do you go about selecting the areas to pray, or give me some stories? What are some of the most profound moments of your experience? I mean, you must be able to write a book already, you know. And
Well, we determine at least once a month we should be out on a corner somewhere praying.
okay,
Usually it's in response to a recent shooting or a stabbing or, you know, whatever kind of violence.
when you go pray, Mike, is that morning, afternoon, night?
It's usually in the evening.
Early
in the
evenings. Good.
And, you know, I have to tell you personally, I feel like I've been blessed by God in these prayer vigils. We've had some moments for me will probably remain unforgettable. I remember praying on Calhoun Street just a couple of days after someone was shot, and the family came out with us, and it was a great group of people that day. And I mean, there was tears, there was crying, there was, you know, feeling blessed. The family just thanking us for being there with them and for them. I remember a prayer vigil on the corner of Hermitage and Boudinot, not that first one, but one since then, where, you know, it was, you know, we form a circle. We're arm in arm usually, or at least hand in hand, and one or two guys are on the outside, you know, for protection. And, you know, at this particular time, I was on the outside, and when I'm on the outside of the circle, I look around, and this particular evening, I saw a man standing in the door of the local store watching us. And so I waved him on. Would you like to come in and join us? And he accepted the invitation. And this happens quite a lot. We get people, we're there praying, and somebody sees, and, you know, we invite them in. And he told us his story. This was a Tuesday evening or something, and he was a drug dealer, and the gentleman just knew his life was in the wrong direction. And he tells us Friday night he was wandering around, and he knew he had it all wrong, and he took the drugs out of his pocket and threw them down the sewer and walked around for hours looking for a church that was open. Couldn't find one, went home, and then there we were that Tuesday evening. Now, one of the guys who was with us doing the prayers was a deacon in a church just a couple blocks away. So we hooked these two gentlemen up, and that deacon became a mentor for this young man. You know, so some powerful things happen. I remember one time we went to the corner on Oakland. We went on Oakland Street near the projects, and this was somehow there was a shooting, and I think we have a member who was a relative of the person who got shot, but somehow the phone calls went blazing, and we were calling each other, and within 2 hours we were on that corner, and I was standing there. There was a young woman there, and you could just see the hurt on her face. She saw me standing there. She just came over and she hugged me, cried on my shoulder for 5 or 10 minutes. She just couldn't let go. She was just crying there. Other people came. Before I knew it, we had this big group hug, 40 people in this big hug. And I'm telling you, Father, I felt blessed to be there. I mean, we're there hopefully to be the conduit, but sometimes the blessings are for us too. And these are the moments that
you got to love and be loved.
Oh, yes.
yeah,
It goes
I
together.
thank God for the moments, and they're the ones that keep me coming back and doing this. You know, it's blessings all around.
Ralph?
Yeah, we also have yearly, you know, you asked about events. We have yearly events that we do. We have a community day every year at Cal Waters Park, where we get donations and sponsors, and we buy food and all, and put games and stuff out, put entertainment out, and we invite all the children in the community, in the city, to the park. And usually we have great turnout. This year was a little light because of the Irene, but normally we have 2,500 people out there with entertainment. We give away book bags. We give, we feed everyone, so they can have a day of just fun and relaxation. It's more like a family community day. And during that time, we also introduce ourselves and let them know who we are, what we do. So, this is our 5th or 6th year doing it, right. And every year it gets better and better. And most of the people through the city, they know who we are. When they see us in this white shirt, they know that we're fathers men. Some of them know us even without. Yeah. That we're fathers and men. And some of the younger people will come up to us and just say, "Look, I need to talk to someone." Yeah. And just to, they have a problem or something is bothering them, or they're being, trying to get drafted in these little gangs and stuff out there, and they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to get involved because they know it's not good, and they'll come and ask for guidance. So we try to be a witness, because the Word of God says that the tree of righteousness is the fruit the tree of life is the fruit of righteousness. He that winneth souls is wise. So we have to go out and try to win their soul, try to lead them to Christ, let them know this is not the things that we should be doing.
Probably all of us at some time in our life have asked a question, maybe internally or externally. Mm-hmm. What am I doing? Or where are we going with life? Oh, yeah. And I think we can probably always go back and say, there was something that made you ask that question. Mm-hmm. And I think what you men are doing is you're putting your lives out there, confronting even things that you might see, might not see, and somebody is saying to themselves, where am I going? And you guys are giving them another option. Yes. Another option, which is great. How can people help you?
Good question. Mr. Young?
Mike.
Our next big event is we do a yearly Thanksgiving food drive, turkeys, canned goods, things like that. And we know the families out there that need this food. Anybody who wants to help us with that, you can call me directly. My name is Mike. My cell phone, 902-3113. Donations, sponsors, other men who want to do what we do can join us. Again, we allow anybody, if you're a God-fearing man and you're hearing what we are doing, and you think, I would like to do that too, give me a call. We'd be happy to take you.
So all men?
And all men.
18 and over, or whatever it is.
Listen, anybody could join us on the prayer vigil.
Sure.
So, I mean,
terrific. Boy, oh boy. Powerful young men, huh? Mr. Mike at 609-902-3113. Please, you pray. Pray with them. Do the same thing on your neighborhood. Good stuff. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.